Right, so for today's video, we actually have 3 separate topics to talk about. They're much shorter topics, hence why I'm putting multiple in this video. Of course, as always, I'm going to put the captions on the timeline so you can kind of skip to whatever topic you want. But today we're actually going to be looking at some videos that I've seen popping up recently where people are just seemingly just straight up lying about a situation that happened at the Grammys. We're also going to be talking about a creator who was recently called out to other creators for copying her content. And then in the response video, we hear some claims that the original creator made her response video in an illegal way. And then finally, we actually have a follow-up to a situation we spoke about recently involving a wedding dress company in Australia. In the last video, we heard from one person who was being affected by this situation, and it turns out a lot more brides have started becoming aware of this situation, and we're seeing more and more videos. But yeah, like I said, chapters in the timeline. If you want to skip ahead and watch in a different order, then you're more than welcome. But let's start with this whole Grammy situation. So this is very similar to something we spoke about quite a while ago. If you remember, we spoke about a lot of creators just making videos saying the exact same thing, promoting the exact same app, following the exact same script. And it was actually multiple examples of this. I think there was one to do with spicy cubes, and then there was one to do with this AI software to help you with your university work and all this stuff. And these are just full accounts using the exact same script to go viral, and seemingly it works. Well, this is the most recent one, and judging by the comments on these videos, it seems like it has fooled a lot of people. So the first example I have here is from a user called Gerlu695. It's a brand new account that has only posted 2 videos, but as we can see, the first video that's posted on this account has 9.5 million views. And straight away, we see a caption on screen that says, she doesn't know it yet, but the dress she styled for Chapel Roan for the Grammys is going to get her sued. It's got copyrighted music in the background, so I'm going to just kind of talk through it. But we see someone here kind of designing a dress, it looks like. We then see Chapel Roan wearing a dress, and then it says to read the caption. Now, I do just want to say quickly, there's a very high likelihood that the girl we see at the beginning of this video isn't actually the person who made this video. It could just be a clip from somewhere else. But yeah, it said to read the caption, so let's read it. And by the way, it is very long, so I'm going to paraphrase some parts. Last week, I styled Chapel Roan for the 2026 Grammys. You saw the dress, everyone did. People couldn't stop talking about it. Bold, daring, unforgettable. That's exactly what she asked for and I delivered. The moment she walked the red carpet, my phone exploded. Comments, articles, cable news segments, too much, inappropriate, what are the standards? Conservative groups started calling for the Grammys to take action. 48 hours later, lawsuit filed. Breach of styling contract, causing reputational harm. The Grammy production company blamed me, saying I didn't get approval for the design. They're demanding I apologize and pay damages. I refused. Now, one thing I will say is that this definitely does read like it's AI generated. And like I said, this is a caption that is used pretty much word for word in multiple videos, as we'll see. Now, to paraphrase the last part of this caption, it basically goes on to say that this stylist was blacklisted and that her career is over, and now she's going to expose what the industry doesn't want you to know. It goes on to say that conservative donors get the final say on what's appropriate. They also intentionally let controversial outfits through so that they can sue the stylist later for publicity. And it also goes on to say that the Grammys have an exclusive deal with Spotify at some website where industry insiders get paid real cash to review unreleased music. Labels use it to test songs and manufacture a buzz before the public even hears them. It's how they control what becomes a hit before it drops. Now, looking at the comment section, pretty much every comment I can see believes this. Now, obviously, there's a very high chance that a lot of comments are also deleted. But there is over 1,000 comments on this video saying stuff like, Chapel should be taking care of it, honestly. Another comment here saying, paid damages of what, with 64,000 likes. Another comment here saying, what has Chapel Roan done about this so far? And another comment saying, I'm on your side, girl, don't worry. But here's the thing, I am 99.99% sure that this is just all fake and a complete lie. Because the account that posted this is an account that was just made. It's got this very, AI-looking caption. Also, if we look at the bio, it says my secret account, so this is kind of by an anonymous person, even though they allegedly show their face at the beginning of the video, but again, I don't believe that that is the person who's actually made this post. And then we also see something linked in the bio, which is tunesrewards.com, which, as we can see here, is apparently a lovable app. It says, now hiring, get paid to listen to unreleased music, earn $47 an hour reviewing new songs. And funnily enough, it's the exact same link that's on all of these accounts that are posting the exact same story. For example, here's another video from user 197659809, which I'm pretty sure is their government name. Again, we see Tunes Rewards MarkieAwards.com in the bio. And the video is pretty much the exact same. We see a different girl in this video, but the caption again says she doesn't know it yet, but the dress she designed for Chaperone for the Grammys will get her sued in 48 hours. And then as we can also see, the caption is the exact same. But again, the comments believe it. There's comments like this one saying, sued you, she wore it. Another comment saying, so is she covering your legal costs? That was her choice. Another comment saying, and what's Chapel doing to help you exactly? Like, there is a lot of comments saying that Chapel should do something about this, but the situation's not real. Like, obviously what's happened here is that Chaperone's outfit went viral at the Grammys, and they've done what they've kind of done before with, like, the spicy cubes and whatnot, where they did, like, these, like, story times, and then also, like, the AI software for university work. They just make up these stories that could go viral in a way to promote an app. And honestly, I really wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't for the fact that clearly a lot of people believe it. Now, after these videos went viral, there has been some people calling it out. I've only managed to find, like, a couple of videos, but there is one here from a user called Morgan. And yeah, Morgan basically says that this just isn't true.
It's really alarming to me that this video has almost 500,000 likes and thousands of comments, because it is completely fake. And I was looking in the comments, and they are all supportive of what appears to be the creator in the video. I'm sure there's some deletion going on, but this video is completely fake. And I need people to start going, like, truly half a step further to confirm that something isn't fully, completely made up before liking it, or like maybe repeating it to other people. Just making sure. Because if you look at the account, just swipe to the left and look at the account, it only has one video. This is the only video. If this was a creator that had enough of a following and enough attention on their clothes to get Chaperone's stylist attention, they wouldn't just have the one video. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, Morgan does go on further to say stuff like it's quite easy to find out who actually did design Chaperone's dress at events like this and whatnot. But either way, I think it's pretty obvious even just from looking at the account, like Morgan said here. But yeah, it seems like this is going to be a bit of a trend that's going to carry on, where these apps just kind of make these viral story times to promote the app, and clearly it works. But either way, let's actually move on to the second topic here. So the main person you'd be aware of is a user called Ellie Fraser. Now, Ellie's recently posted a couple of videos calling out two separate creators. Now, this first one is Sydney Grace 25. And in the video, Ellie basically plays her video, then Sydney's video, and kind of shows like a comparison.
My video. If you've been posting on social media and it feels like everyone else is taking off except for you, you need to hear this. I've been showing up online for almost 3 years now. Her video.
Posting on social media every single day, and it feels like you're watching everyone else blow up while you're stuck in the same place. This is for you. I've been posting online for over a year now.
My video.
It's a thing with social media that nobody's going to tell you. Someone who has posted every single day for almost 3 years now, you may never get to the place where you feel like you've made it.
Her video.
Thing about social media that nobody really talks about. I've posted every single day for almost a year now, and I've realized that you may never come to a point where you feel like you've made it.
Yeah, so as you can see from the side-by-sides, they're clearly very similar, almost word for word. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Ellie has called out two separate creators. It's actually the second one that we're going to look at in just a second, where this situation became a bit bigger, because that creator ended up making a response video claiming that Ellie's like call-out video was illegal, which we'll get to. But to end this video, Ellie goes on to say stuff like Sydney was like taking compliments in the comment section for like having an original idea.
I'm a very nice person, but when someone is copying my content verbatim, word for word, taking compliments in the comments for having an original idea, it's like so not cool. Could copy the most successful content creator in the world, word for word, every single day of your life, and at the end of the day, the success will not truly be yours. The more you create, the more creative you get as a creator. So skipping over the creative part and just stealing from somebody else does not help you grow the creative part of your brain.
So yeah, as you can see, she's basically calling out this creator for copying her videos. Now, Sydney did actually comment on this video saying, I want to address this directly. I recreated two videos too closely to your content and I've taken them down for you. That wasn't the right call and I understand why it upset you. I respect your work and I'm moving forward with original content from here. And looking at Sydney's page, it seems like she did end up uploading a video kind of making a joke about the situation.
Day 5 of my unoriginal series where I try to become one of your favorite content creators and hopefully blow up on this app. I am so done with social media feeling like a highlight reel.
So yeah, as you see, she says that this is my unoriginal series idea, right? Now we actually have to move on to the second time that Ellie made a video like this. Now this situation went a lot more viral, right? So the original video we just watched was on 700k views. This call out video is on 2.5 million. And I think the main reason for that is because we actually end up getting a response video rather than just like a comment. Now in this video, Ellie is calling out a creator called Savannah Ray Bryant. And again, similar to the first video, she basically just shows like a side-by-side comparison.
Hi, I'm Ellie. 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a content creator.
Hi, I'm Savannah.
2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a content creator. I was watching so many girls just like me build communities online and have the opportunity to make tons of money working with brands they actually love. I was following so many girls just like me that seem to be building huge communities online and making tons of money overnight working with brands I've dreamed about.
I had always loved sharing my life online.
I have always loved sharing my life online.
I knew that if others were doing it, I could do it too. So let's rewind.
And I knew if others can do it, so can I. So let's rewind.
Yeah, so we can see it's pretty identical, right? Even to the point of like making a coffee and like doing like the sound effect as certain screenshots show up and showing pretty much the same screenshots. Now, Ellie did leave a caption on this video that says stealing someone's words, personal story and experience is not okay. Normalizing bringing back originality to this space. The digital plagiarism won't be flying over here. I love sharing what's working with you guys, my editing tips and tricks, even how to write great hooks, but instances like this make me sad, especially from a creator who has a platform and is monetizing off of my words and my personal experiences. Not cool. Now, Savannah ended up making a response video to this, and it's actually been deleted, but we do have a re-upload here from a user called I Know You Fucking Lying. And in Savannah's response video, she kind of plays it off as like saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not the first person to ever make a video talking about stuff.
Let's check in, because apparently we need one. Yes, I posted a video. No, I did not invent the concept of filming myself doing things on the internet. If my video reminded you of someone else's, that's fair. I did use her as a little bit of too much of inspo, but the video was cool, the concept was cool. I thought it could be a cute trend for other creators to pick up. And if they copied, my videos get copied. Okay, cool. I don't really care. That's kind of how the internet works.
Now, this next part is interesting, right? Because Savannah goes on to talk about Ellie's video and says the fact that Ellie used clips from Savannah's page showing the TikTok watermark makes it illegal.
But what isn't cool is turning it into a pile-on, sending people to bully other people. That part is not so cute. Also, reposting my clips with the TikTok watermark and username on them, that's not okay, because that part actually is illegal. Bother me more though.
And yeah, I think it should probably go without saying that's not true. Now, Savannah does go on to talk about the hate that she has received since Ellie made this video, comments on the fact that Ellie's actually kept the video up.
Was a response to the comments. When I pointed out that people were sending me hate, piling on, harassing, nothing changed. The video stayed up, the comments stayed up, the behavior continues to be encouraged. You can disagree with me, you can critique my content, I'm always open to feedback and conversations and accountability when it's brought up without harassment.
Now, we do also see some screenshots show up here as the video is playing, and it says, so what's the truth because these don't add up? And it's some comments from Ellie that says, and also doesn't follow me, we were mutual, so unfortunately that's probably not the case. No, I DM'd her asking to give credit in the future, and she unfollowed me right after I messaged her. And then there's also some text on screen that says, never asked via DM, false. Now, Ellie has made a response video, and she does actually respond to this part in particular, which we'll get to.
You can critique my content, I'm always open to feedback and conversations and accountability when it's brought up without harassment. But harassment over content that is similar to someone else's, that's not cute or cool. That's just being mean. Even though we're on the internet, we are people. So maybe just scroll away if something's bothering you. So back to regularly scheduled content.
Yeah, so that was Savannah's response to Ellie. Now, at this point, Ellie actually makes a response video to Savannah, in which she actually does go on to clarify this whole, like, DM thing.
Realize that this is, like, the most shallow thing you've probably ever seen on the internet. After I posted this video last night, one of my followers sent me Savannah's video, which was word for word copying my script and my editing throughout the entire video. I DM'd Savannah, I complimented her editing because her editing is great, and we're mutuals on TikTok, and as soon as I messaged her, within 5 minutes, she unfollowed me. And so I took that as a response in and of itself, which is why I made the video.
Yeah, so we're hearing the explanation is here that they were mutuals, but after sending the DM, she was unfollowed. And we can actually see the DM here. It says, a few of my followers have sent me this video. It's really disappointing to me to see people copy my script word for word. I really hope moving forward it doesn't happen again. I think you have wonderful editing skills. Just please give credit when it's due and change the wording if you're going to use someone as inspiration. And yeah, I think that's a fair DM. You can see that they've interacted before, right? Savannah actually reacted to one of her stories. But apparently, after sending this DM, there was no response other than the fact that she was unfollowed.
So yes, I did reach out to her before making the video. She unfollowed me immediately. Standing my ground on this one, this will never fly on my page. If anything, let this inspire you to carve a path for yourself and create unique content because it's way more fun anyways. Bullying is never okay, but if we're gonna do this in a public forum, then I am gonna respond and set the record straight. So yeah, hopefully this is the last video you will see about this debacle.
So yeah, looking at the comments in this video, it does seem like pretty much everyone is on Ellie's side. And I think the reason why this went so much bigger than the first situation we spoke about, even though they're very similar, is because of the response. Obviously in the first situation, it was just a comment response, basically saying, sorry, I've deleted the videos. Whereas this was actually a response video and basically like called out Ellie, saying like what she did was illegal and stuff like that. And if we look at the comments on this video, I think it backs up the fact that that is the reason why this went so big, because all the comments are saying stuff like, oh, her response video is so icky, the way she responded is so telling, her response video is so sad, completely missing the point. So yeah, all in all, I don't think it's obviously the biggest deal in the world, right? I don't think it should be like a career end or anything like that. And if people are going like way over the top in the comment section, then that's also not okay. It does seem like the comments are a lot more filtered now. Most of the comments I can see on Savannah's page are just positive. So I can't really see the comments that she was referencing. But yeah, like I said, not the biggest deal in the world, right? It doesn't have to go to an extreme level. But now let's actually move on to the final topic. So a few days ago, I made a video talking about a situation involving a wedding dress company in Melbourne, Australia. And it was a video uploaded by this user right here called Madeline Alexandra. And Madeline actually called out a company called Maison Oui. I'll leave a link in the description to that video if you do want to see it. But basically, Madeline actually paid $6,000 to this company to design her wedding dress. We actually found out that it was her grandmother who paid the $6,000 in cash, so there's no real way of getting that money back. And after a big long process where there was a bunch of errors with the dress, it was all kind of starting to go wrong, and months had also went by, Madeline tried getting a refund in which she was declined. And then eventually they basically just stopped responding, and it turns out they've basically stopped responding to all of the brides that have paid money. And the reason for this, as we found out, is because the company is actually in the process of liquidation, meaning there's a very high likelihood that all these brides who have paid money will not get their money back and also won't receive their dress. So as you can imagine, all of the current customers of Maison Oui are panicking a bit here, right? And we actually have a video from another user here called Risha to Power. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And yeah, straight away we can see a caption on screen saying how I was scammed out of $4,500 and my custom wedding dress by a Melbourne-based bridal studio. And yeah, Risha basically goes on to explain that Maison Oui reached out to her, they started working together on this dress, and she ended up paying $4,500 up front.
Then finally, when I was ready to go ahead with it, I just had to pay a 50% deposit. And I was given an appointment in December, an appointment in April, an appointment in July, and then picking it up in August for my wedding in September.
Now, at first, everything seemed to be going well. She was showing up to these appointments. There was some problems with the dress, specifically with like the neckline, but there wasn't any like crazy problems to the point where like Risha thought that she wasn't going to receive the dress. But then after seeing Madeline's video calling out this company, she reached out to the designer.
Basically, we're in January now. It's only been a month since my last appointment. And Madeline, she is another bride that has been affected by the situation. She posted a TikTok saying that she hasn't heard from them. She's been asking for a refund and has gotten nothing out of them. And that was really odd for me because I had a really great experience. So I actually reached out to the head designer because I have her on Instagram. She's been great, and I messaged her and I just said, hope everything's doing okay. She responded almost instantly saying, I'm going to call you. And I was like, okay, cool, no problems.
Yeah, probably not a good sign when you bear in mind the reason why she DM'd in the first place. If you get a response saying I need to call you, it's probably bad news. And this is where we hear that the designer says that she was actually booted out of the company.
But I had a really, really sick feeling about it. And basically she called me and she gave her side of the Madeline story, which is whatever, completely irrelevant in this situation, basically. And then she said that she's been booted out of the company. Anyone that I have spoken to or been in contact to in this entire wedding process has been booted out of the company. They've all got solicitors and they're working to go against the owner of the company. I don't know. I don't understand the back end of that either.
Yeah, so what we're hearing here is that it's not just the customers that are being fucked over, it's also the staff. Now, the designer did say that she would try and like get the dress back, but then Risha actually spoke to her friend who works in law, I believe, and she basically told her that that might not be the best idea.
She said that she's going and handing in the keys, and if the one she can get in contact with to pick up the dress, she was going to do so, because I guess technically if the dress is paid for, it's our property and she can go and pick it up. But a part of that just sounded really dodgy to me, and I trust this girl, I do, but there is other things going on in the background, clearly. So I spoke to mum about it, I spoke to my fiance about it, and I spoke to one of my friends about it who is in the legal industry. And she basically just said, you know, if something bad happens with that and she steals a dress, it's just going to be a bad situation. I'm like, you know what, you're absolutely right.
And yeah, Risha goes on to explain that she tried contacting like a bunch of people about this situation, like Consumer Affairs, but basically the overall response that she was getting was there's not really much they can do. And of course, the reason for this is because the company seems to be in the early stages of liquidation.
So basically, the company is in the early stages of liquidation. And I didn't know this before today, but if a company is in the early stage, if a company goes into liquidation, that's it. All the assets are retained. Any money that comes out or that is left in the business goes to the shareholders first. And then if us, for example, us being the brides that are being fucked over in this situation, they can apply to be something. We can apply to get some of our money back. But if the company's going into liquidation and they need to pay off their shareholders first, there's no money. There's no money to give us our money back.
Yeah, so unfortunately, by the sounds of it, it sounds like there's not really much the customers can do. And what's wild about this is that Risha actually uploaded another video saying if it wasn't for the fact that Madeline uploaded that video kind of talking about this whole situation, Risha and all the other brides wouldn't even be aware of this.
So what's crazy about this is that if Madeline had never posted her video calling out Maze and We, us brides would have never even heard about this. We've all only started getting into contact with them since that video, because otherwise why would we reach out to them? If, for example, my appointment wasn't ready and my appointment wasn't supposed to be until April, so I wouldn't have contacted them until closer to April. So yeah, honestly, thank God for her, because now at least we can get started or not be completely shocked, I guess.
Yeah, so luckily in Risha's case, there is enough time to obviously get enough address. As we heard from Madeline, it was literally like the week of her wedding, right? And I can't imagine how stressful that must have been. Risha's wedding is still months out, so she can get enough address, but that obviously doesn't change the fact that she's potentially, probably, most likely, not going to receive any of that money back, $4,500. It's a lot of money. Now, from what I can tell, there was supposed to be a court hearing for the winding down order today, as I'm recording this right now, and I think there's been some problems with it. So we can see here from smartcompany.com, it goes on to talk about that the matter was going to be heard in federal court on Wednesday morning, which is today, but it also does go on to say that a technical issue with some documents filed in the case saw the hearing adjourned to a later March, meaning some customers can expect another anxious wait for answers. So yeah, it's been postponed by the looks of it, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Obviously, fingers crossed, all the customers do manage to get this situation solved. Obviously, in best case scenario, they get their money back. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but yeah, that's the situation. We're just going to have to wait and see. But with that being said, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on all of the situations that we spoke about in today's video. Who's in the right, who's in the wrong, all that stuff. And yeah, if you did enjoy, please do leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.